You are listening to Committed, an ongoing conversation about marriage, intimacy, relationships, and sex. I'm a marriage and relationship coach dedicated to helping couples and individuals like you build stronger, more fulfilling relationships. I have a deep understanding of communication dynamics, conflict resolution, and intimacy. I guide clients through challenges with compassion and expertise. Hey, such limited time right now. So I'm going to do a quick hot take. I got a message from one of my followers over on TikTok a while ago, and I want to honor what I said that I was going to do and to respond to this message. So I'm going to read you the message and then I'm going to give you my feedback on the content of it. So I've been talking to this girl for 3 months now. Everything was going great with our relationship until one day I made her feel stupid over a text. That was about 2 weeks ago. Since then, she was being really dry with her texts, no longer FaceTiming me, showing no emotion, really slow at texting back when she wants. She asked for time and space, and I gave that to her. The next day, she came back and said that she no longer was wanting a relationship or to pursue a relationship because emotionally she's not ready for one. Her life is a mess. She can't stop fixating on the way her life is going. She told me she still wants to be in my life if I let her. So I just want to pause really quickly and sort of break this down. You're talking to someone for 3 months. That's not a short period of time. The way that I'm taking this is that you haven't met up. You're not in a face to face real relationship. I don't consider texting for 3 months, even FaceTiming for 3 months to be an actual relationship because there's so much missing when you are not face to face, when you're just behind a screen. You're not living life together. And even when you're dating somebody for the first time, you are getting a sense of who they are out in the world. And so when you're behind a screen, there's just no way to do that. Not that some people can't be successful in their relationships when they are long distance, but I do think face to face is just a whole different vibe. It's a whole different way to live in your relationships. So there's that piece about it. The second piece is that you said you made her feel stupid over a text. That's important. So it sounds like she kind of tried to set a boundary by withdrawing herself from the conversation. But I think if you've been talking for 3 months and if you consider yourself to be in some type of relationship with her, even though I kind of shared my thoughts on that, it would be better and more helpful to have a conversation about it. Now, I'm not going to knock this girl or woman for pulling away a little bit because sometimes when things happen, we don't know exactly what to do with it, right? It's like, all right, so this person said something, I feel offended or I feel hurt, but I don't know exactly where to go with it. So I just need to pause for a little while and go within. Again, I think that it would be helpful and important for her to be able to say that. Not exactly sure how I feel about what you said, or I'm offended by what you said. I need to take time and space. There are reasons why she may not have come out and said, I'm offended, because she may have had a fear that you come back and attack her from that, or you try to defend yourself. And a lot of times that's just not helpful. It's not a productive conversation. So there's a bit of nuance to this here, and there's nuance to a lot of things. But I wanted to kind of point that out. So she pulls away. You see that she's pulling away. So then she comes back. She says she doesn't want a relationship with you because she says emotionally she's not ready for one, that her life is a mess and she can't stop fixating on the way her life is going. Now, cool. But there's two separate things happening here. First, she was upset about something you said, and then she comes back and says she's not ready for a relationship. To me, the first two would be linked together. She doesn't like what you said. It didn't give her a good vibe. She doesn't want to move forward with dating you. But then she makes it into her life is a mess. And that's sort of a different subject and topic. So if I was in some kind of engagement with this person, I would say, well, is this ending because of what's happening in your personal life? Or is this ending because you are upset about what I said in the interaction that we had the other day? So I'd really want to differentiate those two things. After that, we went our separate ways. Actually, I guess I missed a part. She can't stop fixating on the way her life is going. She told me she still wants to be in my life if I let her. So that's also very confusing here. Why is it that you are letting her be in your life, but she was offended by what you said? And then now there's something going on in her life and she's struggling and she's wondering if she should even be in a relationship. So she's trying to cut it off. But now she's asking for permission to be in your life. After that, we went our separate ways. I wasn't chasing her. I wasn't texting her. After 2 days, after saying to me, she reached out to me last night. Oh, sorry. The way that the person wrote this isn't completely clear. She reached out asking how he was doing. I told her I was doing good. She told me she was struggling, but she's okay. She asked how my day was yesterday. I said that it was good, but could have been better. She said she's just sad all the time. She texted me this morning telling me she dropped out of her friend's wedding because she's emotionally and mentally drowning. She told me her mental health is awful and it's getting worse. She thought she was climbing out of it, but she feels numb. She apologized and said that I was the only person she was that open to about it. And then he has some questions for me. So before I kind of get to those questions, I want to say that she kind of goes further with the piece about she's struggling with her mental health. And that's valid. I think we can kind of look at this two ways. The first way is you can see somebody who's lost and confused and is struggling, and that is valid, right? People struggle, they go through things, and sometimes they're just not ready for relationships even when they thought that they might be. But the other way we could go with this is that it almost sounds like she's making an excuse for not wanting to be in the engagement that they're in anymore, and is trying to figure out a way to get out of it. Okay. So I'm curious what camp you think she's in here. Is she using it as an excuse, or is she just plain struggling and doesn't really know what to do or what to say? So she starts coming out with this information. So then he asks, is she using me because she's sad? Did she realize when I stopped chasing and letting her go that I meant something to her? Did those 2 days of no contact, letting her do her own thing, not sit well with her, and now she wants to make amends? So she could be using you. She could be using you because she's out in the dating pool and she found maybe some people that she'd be interested in dating, but then she decided that the person that she's really interested in dating are not available for her. And so she decided, all right, let's go with him and see if this could be something. And as she moves down the line with you, she realizes this is really not going to be a thing. And so she tries to kind of get out of it, but then realizes the people she might have wanted to date still aren't available for her, or whatever's going on in her personal life is sort of telling us that you might be like second string and she's using you. So that definitely could be potential. She also might feel that loss. She also might feel that guilt of like, I'm letting this person go because I don't want to date them, but now I feel guilty that I've done this. So that could be a possibility. So she may have self-worth issues. She may feel uncomfortable to say what her truth is, but no matter what, my advice for you is move on to the next relationship and don't worry so much about this one. She might need some support for herself. But at 3 months, it's not your responsibility to give it to her.
Thanks so much for tuning into the podcast. If you're new to our community, welcome. We really want our podcast to grow. So please like, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review with your feedback on how we can make your experience most catered to you. As I work with my private clients continuously, this podcast is a great way for me